It doesn't feel like just another week one stumble. Not even close. People outside might try to soften it, say it's too early, that the first game of a long season doesn't define anything, that a turnaround is still possible. But anyone who has lived through this team's ups and downs knows better. This is not the beginning of something promising. It's the continuation of a story that's dragged on too long, the same cycle where every glimpse of hope collapses under familiar flaws. Mike McDaniel is in year 4, Tua Tagovailoa in year 6. By this point, you don't ask for patience anymore. You expect stability, maturity, growth. Instead, what we're watching is the opposite. It's a slow slide backward, and nothing about Sunday looked like progress. It looked like a team unraveling in front of everyone's eyes. McDaniel didn't enter this season with breathing room. He came in already burning. Now the fire is out of control. The offseason painted the picture before the first snap was even played. Jalen Ramsey, supposed to be one of the locker room's pillars, didn't hide his frustrations. His problem wasn't with the city or with the organization's vision. It was with the head coach himself. That says everything about the atmosphere building behind closed doors. Add the embarrassment of Ryan Crow, the outside linebackers coach arrested for domestic assault, and you already had a cloud hanging over training camp. Meanwhile, the general manager decided to talk about a financial reset. That was his big off-season plan, resetting the books instead of fixing the obvious holes, instead of giving the roster the firepower it needed. He sat on his hands. No bold signings, no aggressive trades. Just words about patience and balance sheets, while the rest of the league moved forward. Nobody came into 2025 with sky-high optimism, but even the most pessimistic fan didn't picture the meltdown that unfolded in Week 1. The secondary was already expected to be shaky, but what we saw went beyond shaky. It was a disaster, worse than anyone could have imagined. And then there's Tua. For years, the conversation has circled around his ceiling. Could he be elite? Could he carry a team? What he showed on Sunday wasn't elite, wasn't even middle tier. It was bottom 5, plain and simple. A performance that makes you wonder not just about this season, but about the long-term direction of the entire franchise. McDaniel's play calling didn't just miss, it felt lost. As if the creativity was drained, as if defenses had finally solved the puzzle. The spark that once made Miami's offense dangerous? Gone. On the other side, the defense couldn't stop anyone, couldn't tackle, couldn't impose any kind of resistance. It was failure across the board. Offense bad, defense bad, execution bad, spirit bad. It wasn't just one area collapsing. It was the whole structure falling apart. And so, the conversation shifts. This isn't about whether the Dolphins can sneak into the playoffs this year. This isn't about if they can squeeze out 9 or 10 wins. This is about something deeper, something harder to swallow. The rebuild isn't a question of if. It's a question of when. The trajectory is set, and the clock has started. You can see where this is heading. Tyreek Hill is the first domino. He said all the right things through camp, smiled in the interviews, played his part. But on Sunday, the frustration was written all over him. The sideline tension, the body language, the sense that he was seconds away from exploding. The PR team must have worked overtime to keep him silent after the game, because one unfiltered statement would have set the entire locker room on fire. The truth is simple. You either trade him before the bomb goes off, or you wait until it does and let the damage spread. Trading him early, probably in October, means clearing cap space, collecting a draft pick, and ending a relationship that has already soured. The moment Tyreek is gone, there's no denying it anymore. That's the start of the rebuild, the end of pretending. But it doesn't stop there. McDaniel's seat is already unbearable, and everyone knows how this league works. It's a business of results, and when the results vanish, so does the head coach. Year by year, it has gotten worse since 2022. The offense that once looked like it could revolutionize the team is now stagnant. The quarterback whisper label? Completely false, because his quarterback is going backwards. Personality doesn't win games. Quirky interviews don't save jobs. At some point, likability doesn't matter. You either deliver or you're gone. And McDaniel won't survive the fall. He doesn't make it to Spain. That's the cold truth. Then comes the deadline, and with it the fire sale. This isn't just about one or two moves. It's about stripping the roster of anyone who won't be part of the future. Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, Matt Judon, all names that will be dangled, and if the price is right, shipped out. Judon is the easiest call. A one-year deal, a veteran pass rusher who a contender would gladly take for a playoff run. If all you get is a 6th or 7th rounder, fine. Take it. Chubb, his future isn't here. If anyone is willing to take him on, you let him go. Phillips is harder to stomach. Young, talented, but stuck in a contract year and already with 2 major injuries on his record. By the time Miami is good again, he won't be around. So if someone offers a 4th-round pick, as painful as it is, you accept. Outside those names, there isn't much. If someone calls about Jordan Brooks, you think about it. If the offer is strong enough, you say yes. Austin Jackson, always hurt, always inconsistent. If another team wants him, you don't hesitate. The reality is clear. At the deadline, Miami becomes a seller. Not for a quick fix, not for a retool, for a reset. And when the season limps to its end, Chris Greer has to go. He's been the architect of this mess for too long. He's the voice behind the so-called reset. He's the one who left this roster exposed. Ideally, he'd leave the same day as McDaniel, but in reality, he'll hang on through the fire sale to oversee the trades. But Black Monday, that's the day the door closes. Fired, not reassigned, not promoted with a fancy new title. Fired, badge gone, office empty, no more presence in Miami Gardens. His time is over. Then begins the search. And this time, it has to be done differently. No more half measures. No more hiring a coach while keeping the same GM, or bringing in a GM while keeping the old coach. Both roles reset together. Clean slate. And no more gambling on the next big thing. Miami needs experience. Proven names. Leaders who have done the job and know how to survive the grind. John Gruden's baggage makes him a tough sell. But someone like Mike McCarthy, that's the type this organization needs. Offensive-minded, Super Bowl champion, years of leading successful teams. He isn't flashy. He won't charm the media with jokes. But he'll run a tight ship, bring professionalism, and maybe, finally, stability. Boring, yes. But boring wins. And boring is exactly what this broken franchise requires. For the GM position, the pool is deeper. Ray Agnew, Chad Alexander, Matt Berry. Bright minds who are ready for a bigger role. Unlike head coach, GM doesn't require decades of experience. It requires vision, talent evaluation, and the discipline to build slowly, piece by piece. Miami has failed at this for too long. It cannot fail again. So here we are. Whether this team finishes with 3 wins, 5, maybe 7 if a miracle happens, it doesn't matter. The conclusion is the same. The foundation isn't there. The vision isn't there. The Colts game wasn't a stumble, it was a statement. It screamed that nothing has changed and nothing will change under the current powers in charge. It wasn't just a loss. It was a reminder of everything broken. And unless the reset begins now, it's not getting fixed. Not next week, not next year. The real future is further down the line. 2027, maybe 2028, if the rebuild is done right. Until then, the pain is unavoidable. The Dolphins are broken, and the only way out is through the fire.